prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed.
What happens when life gives you a bad deal? Do you quit or do you keep on going? You are now watching Young, Dumb, and Thriving.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Young, Dumb, and Thriving. Today you are here with Charmaine and a very, very special guest, Tcha Lastie.
Hey y'all.
So Shay, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a local San Diego portrait photographer here. I am from a small town in Albany, Georgia. It's southern Georgia. But I'm a military brat, so we moved around a lot. So I've lived in Texas and Virginia and DC and California for a little bit. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. I am happily married, and I'm really excited to be here today.
You're the oldest of 6 kids?
Oldest of 6 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you get into photography?
So I got photography at an older age. I worked a normal 9 to 5. My job required me to travel somewhat, and so we went to like these exotic locations, but then I only had my cell phone to take pictures with. I was like, man, I wish I would have had like a nicer camera so I could have got some better pictures. So it was around Black Friday, I want to say 2017. I went on Best Buy, bought a DSLR camera, and then I've just kind of been shooting ever since.
So you stepped into photography.
I did. So yeah,
it was not pre-planned. It was not like,
no,
okay,
it
buy
wasn't
this
like
thing.
I'm gonna buy a camera when I'm 15. I'm gonna be a photographer, and no.
So you just stepped into it, and you said at an older age.
Yes.
So if you don't mind telling the audience.
So I am 33 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you stepped into it when you were 30.
Yeah.
And the reason I point that out, not so that, you know, because some people feel offended by that.
Oh, no.
But purposes of the show is to show that, first of all, young.
Yeah.
No matter what age you are, you're always young to somebody.
Absolutely.
And 2, there is no timeline. That's why I wanted her to tell her age. Because there is no timeline in life. And as she says, she stepped into it. She was working a 9 to 5.
Yep.
She was traveling, and she stepped into photography. At 30 years old, bought a camera and was like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about your mindset on that. Just buying a camera and just feeling like, let me just do it.
Yeah. So really that's kind of what it was. I bought the camera. I really enjoyed it. I love the creativity of it because my job is very structured and very like by the book. So it's nice to be able to have a creative outlet. And so I was like, well, this is what I enjoy, so I'm going to go do it. You know, I see, you know, younger people doing it in their early 20s. I'm like, cool, but I'm like, this is where I want to be, so that's where I'm going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So where do you plan on taking your photography? Do you eventually plan on not working and in hopes of...
Yeah. Eventually I want to move full-time in it.
Okay.
I love to do portraiture work, so photographing moms-to-be, birthday sessions, that kind of stuff. So I want to be able to do that full-time with people.
I just want to point out that you're amazing. No, seriously. Because I say this because you work.
Yeah.
You have a family.
Yeah.
And you have a business.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell us about that juggle, that prioritizing.
Well, Lord, let me tell you. It is very difficult to juggle a 9 to 5, a side hustle, and then a family. And the reason is because there's only so many hours in a day.
Right.
I still got to sleep at some point.
Exactly.
I don't sleep enough. Probably no entrepreneur does, to tell you the truth.
Right.
Even if you're full-time. You're never going to sleep enough. But I have to make a conscious effort to make sure I square off time to spend time with my spouse.
Yes.
Not because I don't love them, not because I don't want to, but it's easy for me to be like, okay, photo shoot at this time. All right, I'll spend the next 6 hours in my photography chair, culling, editing, and then, you know, he sleep and I'm in a computer all day.
Right.
So you definitely have to make sure that if this is what you're going to do and you do have a family or people who look up to you and need you, that you carve out time for them.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we're going to also dive into your background a little bit.
Okay.
So you said you were the oldest of 6, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So do you think that had any impact on who you are as an individual?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Being the oldest, you know, you're the guinea pig child with your parents because you're their first child. So my parents were always strict on me, not in a bad way. They were just more strict on me than were my siblings because I was the oldest and they wanted to make sure, like, okay, let's make sure we do this right.
Right.
So it definitely has crafted how I interact and deal with people, how... In my group of friends, I'm kind of the mom of the group. Yeah. Because I'm the oldest, I'm used to making sure everyone's okay. And I think that kind of conveys over into my business because I like to make sure that my clients are okay. Like, I want to make sure that they feel cared for, that they feel like, okay, if I have any questions, if I have any concerns, with my photography session coming up or anything, I can go to my photographer.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways being the oldest kind of carried over into my business and just how I deal with people.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love how you said, like, you care about your clients, and
Yeah.
I love how you relate your life to your business, because honestly, in every aspect of our lives,
Yeah.
it always relates to each other.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a big circle.
It is.
Like, it's a web. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, let me do this.
Yeah.
So how did your husband feel about you starting the photography, the business?
He's really, really supportive.
That's amazing.
Me and my husband have a really great relationship, and so we're very like sarcastic and we pick at each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So he'll always kind of pick at me and be like, "Hey, you gonna work in photography again?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, babe, have fun."
Yeah.
But yeah, he's really supportive, and I am so grateful for that because I've heard horror stories from other photographers, especially women photographers, who are trying to do it all, who have spouses that are like, "Well, why are you doing photography? Like, that's
Right.
just a little side business. Like, well, you're not gonna make any money." My husband's very supportive,
That's
so I
amazing.
am blessed to have a husband.
That's
who
amazing.
supports me. Yeah.
So what would you say would be the most challenging part for you?
Again, that balance.
Okay.
That balance, because I can be very selfish with my time,
Mhm.
and I know this, so I recognize this, and I have to make the conscious effort
Yeah.
to make sure that I'm properly giving all aspects of my life the time. But what you have to remember is, when you're doing all this, it's a juggling act.
Yeah.
You're never going to have perfection. There are going to be times when you're going to have to drop the family ball because there's this major job that comes up and you have to get it done.
Yeah.
And then there are going to be times where you have to be like, yeah, I could be editing session, or yeah, I could be doing whatever for my business, but my spouse, my kids, my significant other, they need my time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this to the side, spend time with them. Sometimes I have to go work after he goes to sleep. After
Yeah.
we've chilled and watched movies, all right, we had family time. All right, he's asleep. I got the session I got to crank out. So it's just what you do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I just, first of all, the way that you're speaking, I love it. Because so many people can relate to it.
Yeah.
And so many people do have trouble balancing.
Yeah.
They forget family and work too much on work, or they forget work and work too much on family.
Yeah.
So you're right about that balance. So would you say that foundation is a key in success? Like
Yeah.
having a strong foundation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to sit down and figure out where you want to take your business, where you can give and take at in business and personal life, and just set yourself kind of goals and boundaries in the beginning. And that way, like you said, you have that solid foundation where you can then build and grow and adjust when needed, but you kind of have a set playbook on how you're going to do things.
Got it. That's good. So for those in the audience that don't have that support that you were talking about,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to them if they are hearing naysayers tell them, like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
That's not going to go nowhere. What advice would you give them?
Don't listen to them. Like, they can say all they want. Some people love to put you down
Yeah.
because you're going out there, you're trying to achieve your dreams, and they're not. And they hate to see that because they see, well, I could be doing that, but I'm too afraid to do it.
Right.
So when people say, no, all right, cool, you don't think I can do it, I'm not worried about you. Because when I get there, you're going to be like, hey, can I get that photo shoot? Or, hey,
Exactly.
can I get them lashes? Or, hey, can you come do my makeup? Like, don't worry about those people.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Great advice, because she's right. People don't want to see you succeed, especially if you're from the same neighborhood.
Oh, absolutely.
They hate that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to use me for an example because I don't want to name drop nobody. But, like, I'll post on Instagram about nothing. Like,
Yeah.
just me just being at home,
Right.
a pretty picture.
Yeah.
400 or 500 likes.
Yeah.
Then I'll post something about me trying to start a business.
Yeah.
50 likes.
Right.
And for me, right, exactly. And for me, it's funny.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that's like, when people don't believe in me, I'm just like, you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see the end result.
Yeah.
But some people are not like that.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's important for you guys to understand that once you believe in yourself, nobody else can stop you.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to give yourself that words of affirmation, even before somebody else tells you, oh, that is a great idea. If
Yeah.
you never get that, oh, that's a great idea, keep on pushing and keep on thriving.
Yeah. Speaking on that, don't rely on family and friends for your business. I know a lot of people would love to have family and friends that will pay
Support
you
them.
full price for,
Yeah.
your hoodies, your accounting service, or whatever. But a lot of times that doesn't happen. So if you're looking to grow your business, I'm not saying discount your family and friends, but reach outside. Like, make sure you're going out there and finding your actual clients.
I'm going to hit on that. And
Okay.
I'm actually glad
Yeah.
that you brought that point
Yeah.
up. Because literally, she is so right with that. A lot of times when you start something new,
Yep.
start something fresh,
Yep.
your family and friends are not the first ones to support it.
Yeah.
And they are asking 50% off or free.
Can I get the hookup?
Right. And the thing that they don't understand is, one, if you really support me or if you really care about me, you're going to pay the full price.
Exactly. You're
actually going to give me donations if I need it.
Yep.
But you're not going to be asking me to hurt my business for your pleasure. That makes no sense to me.
Absolutely.
And literally, even when I started YouTube, I have about 2,000 people as friends on Facebook, right?
Okay, yeah.
And Instagram, like 3,000 something, I don't know. And so I was expecting all my friends and family to follow me and to be on my YouTube. I'm like, right. I was like, I should start off with like about at least 2,000 people.
Right, let me go ahead and get that monetization.
Girl, you want to know how much I started with? 25 subscribers for the first month.
Yeah.
And I said, you got to be kidding me. So I literally looked, like you said, outside of my resources, and I said, let me go on YouTube pages for Facebook and Instagram. Let me start following these accounts and then start posting my content. Now I have 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, because the ones that I thought would support me in my inner circle was like, no. Unless it benefits me, I'm not supporting you. And unless they see it takes off, then they're like, oh, let me follow her real quick.
You get that 5,000. They're like, oh, your behavior.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I love that you brought up that point. So now the next segment of this show, all of you know, is game time. For this game time, me and Shay are going to play Jenga. And I decided to give her Jenga because she talks about having that foundation, knowing, which way in life you gotta go and how everything connects to each other. So what perfect game identifies that? And then after we play Jenga, she's going to go ahead and give us a few examples and explanations of 3 words that I've chosen for her that go along with this.
Okay, awesome.
So we're gonna get ready to play.
All right.
Okay, and I just want you to know I'm competitive.
Okay, let's do this.
Competitive. I don't know the real rules to Jenga.
So we can touch and then...
Yeah, you can touch it and pull it out.
All right.
I really don't know any of
it. Some people would be like, you can't, once you touch it, that's it.
Oh, like tap it?
Yeah.
Oh, nah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm that type of person that's like, even if it moves, I'm still gonna grab it. Alright. He said, let me go back to the top.
Let me go back to it. All the middle is gonna be
right.
Now
all the middle is gonna be out. Oh my God. So how do you think this game applies to your life just by us playing it?
This game is about, like you said, a strong foundation and good balance. So you got to be able to be flexible and maybe move your piece you're picking because it ain't ready to move out right now. Sometimes you just go forward and hope for the best. So
I love that you said that because literally I was going to say that's what it means if you didn't get it. Yeah, because literally as you're pulling from Jenga, if some piece doesn't work, you're like, oh my God, but you already have it. So you just have to go for it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work and if it falls, then what?
Hey, then you start all over.
Right?
Just
you
like
build
life.
it back up and you start all over. And that is just like life. Life is not always going to go your way. It's not always going to do what you want it to do. But at the end of the day, you still have to continue it. Because it's continuous and it keeps on going. You're trying to play for real. You just see what I mean? I'm trying to trap ya. guys, so that was actually a very fun game. Shay won. I lost. Okay, I was trying to go for the middle. I thought I could get it, but it's okay. That's just like life.
It is.
So I got 3 words and kind of phrases for you.
Okay.
So please tell me again, because I know you stated it a little bit earlier, what foundation means to you.
So foundation is just kind of my beginning state. That is, if nothing else, this is the end all be all right here. This is the beginning. This is how I start everything, what everything grows from.
Okay, so when you say how you start everything, that means if something fails, here you go, starting back from square one.
Yeah, so if something goes wrong in my business, all right, gotta go back to square one, start here, start building up again.
Okay, and then can you please explain what trial and error means for you?
Okay, so trial and error, kind of like Jenga. Sometimes you just have to try stuff, see what sticks, and then adjust and go from there. I like to think of my business, and really in any business, too many things, even when you fail at them, you learn from them.
Yeah.
You can grow, you can adjust, you can tweak it so that it'll be successful next time. So trial and error is just trying until you find what fits for your business.
That's amazing, because a lot of people actually get so caught up on the trial and error that they're like, I don't even want to keep going.
Yeah.
You know, so what advice would you give to them?
You gotta keep going. If you don't keep going, you're not gonna get any further. So even if you fail, you can either stop in that failure, or you can try again and keep going until you get to success.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add to that. You never let whatever happens in your life or whatever happens in your business, never let that get you. The downfalls that happen, you always have to go through that, because like you said, it's a lesson learned. Even when you fail at something, it is a lesson learned, and you can therefore start over again on your foundation. However, now you have tips and tricks to add to it.
Yeah.
Now you know, okay, this didn't work for me,
right,
so now let me try it this way.
Yeah, and for me, I learn better when I fail. Like,
me
when
too.
I fail, stuff sticks. I'm like, you know what? I did not like how that felt. I did not like how that worked out. We're not going to do that again.
Right.
I'm going to remember that. So there are definitely good parts to
I love that.
failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now the last phrase would be the great fall.
Okay. Great fall. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So to me, that sounds like when you just like hit bottom. Like, maybe you were doing really well, you succeeded in your business, like last month you made all the sales, and then all of a sudden this month you ain't got none.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the great fall means to me. But again, kind of like with trial and error, kind of with failure in general, even if you have a great fall, you can come back from it.
Yes.
There are plenty of businesses who, did great, fell off, and they came back and did great again. So don't let a great fall stop you from being successful in your business.
Yeah, and I chose that because, like you said, that's when you hit the bottom.
Yeah.
And some people, their mind gets stuck at the bottom if something super detrimental happens to them or their business. They're always like, oh, I can't. There's no way there is.
Yeah.
And when you program your mind to be in like a go-getter mindset or just like a nothing's gonna stop me mindset, that's when you'll start seeing, okay, I did fall hard, and like you said earlier, I don't want to feel like that ever again. So now here I'm going stronger, harder, because obviously what I did the first time did not work, so let me try again. So that's why I chose that.
Yeah, so for me, because everyone has these places in your business where even if you don't have a great fall per se, like you fail or things just aren't going well, it's okay to dwell on that for a little bit. Like, it's okay to have yourself a little 10-minute pity party. Yeah. Because I had to do that sometimes.
Me too.
Sometimes you just gotta dwell for a little bit.
You gotta cry.
Like, right.
Let me cry.
Right. But, take your 10 minutes, take your hour, your day, whatever, and then move forward. I like to listen to motivational stuff, like Eric Thomas. Love listening to him.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, yeah.
I listen to Les Brown.
Yeah, he's kind of in that same field. They get you so hyped. You're right. I'm about to go conquer the world. You be like, yes.
I'm on one.
Right.
I'm on one.
You like, because he went to school for like 12 years and he couldn't read and draw like all kinds of, So listen to motivational stuff helps me a lot when I have kind of my little dark cloud moments.
That's amazing. Well, I just want to say thank you so much
my pleasure. Thanks
for coming on this show and literally giving your wisdom to the audience, because like I said, a lot of people, they want to do something in life. They really do, and I know y'all do. Honestly, everybody has an idea in their head, but for some of us, we don't know how to start. We don't know where to start. We're not even having support around us that's helping us. So the whole purpose of the show, this is why I'm bringing so many individuals on here, is because I want you guys to give them the advice. So if somebody is in your shoes, what advice would you give to them? Like, if they don't have that support and they don't know where to start, what advice would you give?
So talking strictly photography, the good thing now about photography is that most of it's digital. You don't even have to have a fancy camera to get started in photography. Really, you can have a cell phone and start your photography journey. As far as not having people who support you, go on Facebook and join photography groups. There are so many beginner photography groups that have more seasoned photographers in there who will give you the support and the mentorship that you need. That will help you along the way to become a better photographer. That also help you become a better business owner, because owning a photography business is like 10% actual photography and 90% business. So make sure if you're going to go into this photography to be a professional photographer, you get your business house in order, because you don't want the IRS knocking on your door talking about you owe us taxes because you ain't been handling your financials. But yeah, just reach out. Feel free to reach out to me as well. I'm happy to help anyone I can.
Yes, that's amazing. Yes, please. And just give us a little brief summary of like the legality side of it. So like, how did you have to like?
So I set up my business, entity. I'm a sole proprietorship here in San Diego. Some people do LLCs. You really need to talk to a financial advisor to determine what's kind of the best for you. Some of the quick main things I suggest you get if you're a beginner photographer with your business: make sure you have business insurance, especially liability. You are dealing with people. People are clumsy. They fall. They break things. You don't want to be on the hook for that, so have your insurance. Make sure that you have a business bank account. Keep your money separate, again, so if the IRS comes knocking, you have your business funds and they're not going after your personal funds. Make sure you have proper equipment, and just make sure you know what you're doing before you start charging people, especially for weddings. This is kind of niche down, but weddings are a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lot of people, and you don't want to mess that up as a beginner photographer. That's the quickest way to destroy your business before you really get started. So just make sure you know what you're doing before you take clients.
Wow, well thank you for that amazing advice. And if you reach to your right, you gotta give. You gotta pull it in front of you. Really, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the fact that you came on the show. You have just tuned in to another segment of Young, Dumb, and Thriving.
Wait till forevermore.